Hello, hello everybody, and welcome back to the final part of Donkey Kong Country 1. And we're going to be hitting the harder levels, starting off with the industrial complex, where the very secret bonus level is located. Are you excited, Gok?
Hmm? Well, it's the beginning of the morning and I just had my coffee. It's not usually the time of day I am the most excited.
Very good.
But yeah, you said you're hitting the harder levels, and the music's certainly hitting hard.
Yeah, one thing I do like about Donkey Kong Country 1 is that the music is really good, but I have tried listening to it on its own, and it's a bit hard to kind of listen to it on its own. It's more ambient than it is, like, you know what I mean? But anyway, here's the secret room. You have to get 3 bananas to get a barrel to then blow up this room. And here's your secret room. And it's easier to do the barrel trick with Diddy, because you have to keep.
Kong learns spelling.
Yeah. This is actually a pretty good bonus room, because it's one of the few areas in the game where you can get a 3-up balloon.
What is this? What are you spelling now?
Donkey Kong Country.
I'm not good with anagrams.
They spell country with a U, so it's probably confusing for Americans. Was there ever a reason that you know of as to why America doesn't spell a lot of words with a U, like color, for example, or neighbor?
I'm pretty sure it's to spite the British.
If that's the case, then why do they still use the imperial system that's based off of a king's foot size?
Excessive laziness.
Yeah, that was always the thing that I never really quite got about America. And they can never really seem that none of them can give me a good answer to that. The best that I've heard is that it's easier to do measurement math using the imperial system, which I don't think is inherently true.
No, especially when you don't have how do I say this? A consistent division between the subdivisions of the measurement. Because, like, for example, in the metric system, every
it's all divisible by 10.
Yeah, they all and it's always like the smallest the smaller division is always going to be a decimal, so it's going. I am wondering if there is, like, the Americans couldn't decide if they wanted to what was the bigger priority, fighting the British or recognizing something the French did as right.
That is quite the conundrum.
Yeah. Because for all the faults of the Frenchmen, the metric system is a superior system. So they can at least be proud of having done something for humanity. Are those the oil tanks from Jarhead? Or Jake Gyllenhaal has to burn the crap?
No, I think that's just more of the Captain Planet style of big corporations just causing pollution for the sake of it. Have you ever seen any of the Captain Planets? Because, I mean, I haven't. I just sort of seen, more parody clips on it.
Well, I certainly would like to see to know what you have seen, because so far I have no.
Oh, you never heard of
Oh, you're
Captain
back?
Planet?
Yeah. Right after you said, so far I've seen the screen froze and your audio cut off.
Oh, great. I was just asking about if you saw Captain Planet, like the original
As a
TV
kid,
show.
as a kid, yes.
Okay.
And it is pretty hilarious how absolutely vapid the villains were.
Yeah, it was just let's just
Why
cause
is
pollution
your
for the sake of
motivation?
it.
I just really love skinning baby seals and dumping radioactive waste on the river that people drink.
Yeah.
Don't you have don't you want, like, aren't you doing this for money? No, I'm just an agent of chaos. I'm doing this for the glory of my Lord Moloch.
The only fun fact that I know of concerning Captain Planet is that one of the villains is named Duke Nukem. And initially, when 3D Realms made Duke Nukem, they weren't sure if they were going to get in trouble by calling Duke Nukem, so they spelled their version wrong to try and avoid any copyright issue. And it turns out that no one gives half a shit about Captain Planet, so then they spelled it correctly.
Yeah. They tried to sue 3D Realms, but then the judge says, "Wait, you're the guys who made Captain Planet?" Case dismissed with prejudice.
With extreme prejudice. But, oh, the other thing, I did see the Doug Walker review, or the Nostalgia Critic review of Captain Planet from way back in the day, where just out of nowhere there's an episode about a kid getting AIDS.
Yeah. And somehow that ties into the villain's plan to dominate the world.
Yeah.
Okay, how does that make sense? Don't ask me the tough questions, kid. Oh my god. There was one of the kind of villains, the woman with a white mesh of hair that I found kind of hot as a kid.
Was it a villain? Because I know that, was it Oprah Winfrey, or was it Whoopi Goldberg that played the nature goddess?
Yeah. Probably Whoopi Goldberg, because he played Gaia. I'm gonna guess it's Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
Yeah. Oprah Winfrey would get her villain arc only after the allegations against Epstein came out. No, not Epstein, Weinstein. And basically, everyone will look at her and says, "You knew about that from the beginning, didn't you?"
Well, yeah. How else did she get all that her job? It's always the Weinstein way.
No, but there's pictures of her like presenting young girls to Weinstein, and people then start asking some really uncomfortable questions.
So that's how you afforded all those cars. How is Weinstein doing? Because last I heard he is trying to fake sympathy by walking around in a walker.
Isn't he still in jail, I suppose?
I don't know if he ever got to jail. That's part of the thing. I just heard that, like, the last thing I heard was that he was going to the courtroom in a walker because to try and gain sympathy.
Yeah, I have not kept Captain Con up to date with the Weinstein events.
Yeah. The only other fun thing that I know about Weinstein is that one of the orcs in Lord of the Rings is based off of him. Specifically, it's the white orc that looks like his face is melting.
Is that Gothmog?
I think so. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the one. Let me just check, because I think that's his name.
I don't know. I'm not that much of a nerd of the Lord of the Rings to remember the names of the orcs that get killed off immediately.
Oh no. Well, he doesn't get killed off immediately. He actually is he has a pretty large screen time on Return of the King.
Yeah, a whole 5 minutes compared to the orc's usual 30
Listen,
seconds.
he's pretty much the main commander of the orc army is you uncultured swine. And no, Gothmog is the wait a minute. There is a Gothmog Balrog and lieutenant. Gothmog was a lieutenant of the Witch King in the Third Age who originated in Minas Morgul, notably serving on the Battle of Pelennor Feuds. Okay, yeah, it was his name. Well, apparently there's also a Balrog named Gothmog.
Huh, weird. Weren't there only like 9 Balrogs, like ever?
I don't know. The Balrog were basically Maiar who got corrupted. They're like Maiar creatures in the same level as Gandalf.
Actually, that kind of, now I'm curious. Did Gandalf always know that he was an angel, or did he just sort of do his own thing, and then it wasn't until after he died, fighting the Balrog, that he remembered?
No, they pretty much have a complete understanding of it because the Stari were Maiar sent to help, specifically to help mortals with the battle against Sauron. So, but they just kind of did their thing when Sauron was on the low. You know, like Radagast went on to help the creatures of the forest, and Gandalf went on to smoke some weed with the hobbits.
I mean, once you taste pipeweed, you never want to go back. But, let's see, what else there was. I'm guessing that the 2 blue mages that went east, those were only ever mentioned in, like, the letters that Tolkien wrote, right?
I'm not sure, because I have not read the books yet.
Okay.
But I mean, there's probably some mention of them in the Silmarillion.
That's something we could do for movie night, is just watch the entirety of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the extended versions.
Yeah.
Instead of watching that fucking terrible-ass Wizards movie.
No, the terrible-ass Wizards movie would be like when we do the Rings of Power marathon.
No, I think even Wizards is better than that.
Well, probably less insulting.
Yeah, at least Wizards was an original production, as opposed to Rings of Power, which just decided to take a big shit all over Lord of the Rings and claim it was better.
Yeah, and the gun scene was pretty funny.
Which one?
when the guy just pulls out a gun to kill his brother.
Oh yeah, it was like, oh yeah, I learned this new magic trick. Bang. I have to say, effective, albeit very anticlimactic.
Yeah. I learned this new magic trick. The incantation is "Make my day, punk."
Anyway, for those wondering, the movie is literally just called Wizards, and as I said, it is not very good. It feels like it was animated at the same time that they are writing it, or actually, that's still probably too good. It feels like a movie that was animated after they wrote it, and then they tried to make sense of it.
Are you sure you're not trying to state the opposite? Because I'm pretty sure that's the normal.
Oh, like yeah, I might have said that opposite. They animated it before they actually wrote it, and then tried to make sense of something.
Yeah.
My bad.
Although animating it as they wrote it does kind of make sense too, because the animation is not that good.
Yeah, like it really isn't.
For a feature-length movie, it's pretty far from Disney, from 2D animations to the animated Disney.
Yeah, like I was getting definitely that feeling of the really you know how people make fun of like the Canadian animation by saying it's like really cheap. I was getting those vibes. Like it was just, yeah, it was.
Oh,
not great.
Yeah, it's because it's cheap that people make fun of Canadian animation. Yeah, let's go with that.
What? You haven't heard about the Canadian animation being cheap as fuck?
Yeah, I do recall certain pieces of Canadian animation I watched as a kid, like the Highlander cartoon.
Yeah, where they have the guy in complete blackface, essentially.
with a big jazz singer lips.
Yeah. Oh, so actually going back to the game, this is my favorite level because it not only is it a minecart level, but it's one where you can jump out of the minecart. So it's extra fun.
You don't have to use the whole weight of your ass to propel the minecart upwards.
Mm-hmm. Oops. I don't know why, but this playthrough I've been fucking up every single one of these mini games essentially, and some of them I have been trying. So I don't know what's wrong with me.
Butterfingers?
Probably.
What were we talking about before Canadian animation came in?
We were talking about the Wizards movie being animated like dog shit.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, like, compare that, and that was made in the 70s, right? So compare that with something like, I don't know, something that was made even earlier, like...
Snow White was made earlier.
Yeah, very earlier, like some 40 years earlier.
Yeah.
And, it looked much sharper and much more fluid in the end.
Much more fluid, much more colorful, much more interesting.
The models were more consistent.
The plot made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I should mention, like, the plot of Wizards is that, essentially what it is that there's a good wizard and an evil wizard, and the evil wizard wants to take over the world, because, of course, and, his way of doing it, because this, the world of Wizards takes place in the super far-off future, like, where humanity killed themselves by nuking themselves, which is probably the way we're gonna go extinct, but anyway.
Hey, if you're gonna go out, at least be in a blaze of glory,
Yeah, fair.
or at least in a blaze of radioactive fire.
But anyway, the evil wizard has been digging around in the old ruins of old humanity and discovered a secret weapon to win any war. And you think, oh, you probably found out about how to make nukes or whatever, right? No, that would almost make sense. Instead, what he found was a projector that had old footage of Hitler doing the Sig Heil, and you think, okay, so maybe the information was on that to make super weapons. No, it's literally just that. It's just a video footage of Hitler, and he just plays that during a battlefield, and that's horrible enough to cause all the enemies that the evil wizard fights to just be paralyzed in fear while they get slaughtered.
I'm guessing it's either. I'm guessing like the Hitler speeches just give a +2 to morale, +3 to morale to all the orcs and mutants.
Yeah.
Either that or Bakshi's trying to imply that the elves are
Colossal fucking pussies.
no, all the elves are Jewish people.
Maybe. But
In the far-off future, after nuclear war, Jewish people have evolved into elves. But they have like a crippling... they have like a... But Hitler's speeches work against like a paralyzing... works like a paralyzing spell against them.
yeah, it literally makes no fucking sense. It's just... It just works, apparently. And he does it like once, and then never again throughout the entire movie, even though there's a big battle sequence at the very end of the movie.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those cases where we should ask Bakshi, well, if he's still alive. What did you mean by this?
Yeah, like, it's pretty obvious that it has an anti-war message going for it, and even people who apparently like this movie, which I don't know how, but even they say, like, yeah, it's a little on the nose with its point that it's trying to make.
I guess, well, I imagine they like it because they were pre-teens when they were like young teenagers when they watched it, and they discover things about themselves when they saw Eleanor.
Maybe?
Yeah. I don't know. Their parents took them to watch the movie thinking it was just gonna be some funny kids movie, and then there's like a big-titted fairy.
A big-titted fairy that is wearing
dressed.
like the Borat bikini.
To be fair, can you think of a more appropriate attire for women to wear all the time?
Yeah, it's. I ain't complaining. It's just that it's funny that she's probably the most modestly dressed fairy in the movie.
Yeah. She's probably she's using the fairy equivalent of a burqa.
Mm-hmm.
While every other fairy is just buck naked.
Yeah, the other thing that kind of got me about that movie was that the Eleanor character fairy is like regular human sized, but all the other fairies are like what you would expect a fairy to be.
I think there were fairies. There were fairies there that were the same size as Eleanor. I think those were just like another kind of creature. They just another kind of fairy. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The fact that you don't know and I don't know, and I'm asking the question, kind of implies that was. They should have gone back to the storyboard about that.
Yeah. Shouldn't we call these creatures something else? Why?
Like, even if it was just pixies, it's like adjacent to fairies, and it's close enough, and I could be like, alright, this is what pixies are in their world, but no, they're both fairies. But, yeah, and I think the biggest shame that or what I feel is, like, really unfortunate for that movie is that it has a good premise, it's just that it's just botched by everything else.
Premise good, everything else really bad. I don't know. The 5 people who are gonna watch these are there's probably gonna be one that is gonna be very upset that we're trashing one of their childhood favorites.
Yeah, instead of going to watch something good that year, like Star Wars Episode 4, they decided to watch Wizards.
No, I'm Star Wars Episode 4, all the way up in 1977. Oh yeah, the Episode 4 is A New Hope.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, Wizards came out the same year that fucking that movie did, and it was. I think that's what a lot of people said. Oh yeah, that's why Wizards didn't do too well at the box office. And I'm like, I don't know. Did you actually watch the movie? Because I would argue the.
I imagine the quality of the movie would have had something to do with it.
Yeah. But
yeah, but I was thinking about the fairy question, and I imagine like someone wants to make like a really dark version, really going really hard on the darkness of war aspect of the movie, and like you get to the fairy, like the mutants get to the fairy and they just go all Mongol on them. They go Genghis Khan on the fairies.
Yeah, which is weird because some of the fairies actually dressed up like Genghis Khan, Mongol army.
Yeah, I think those are the elves. Yeah, the elves are like very Asiatic looking in certain points.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing about it is that I'm actually kind of curious as to why that guy is kind of considered to be a like a legend among the animation world. Is it literally just because he did adult cartoons?
I imagine so, because like in the 70s, people pretty much never took animation as a serious thing. They were, it was seen at least in the US exclusively as a kids entertainment thing, and he was the one pushing for animation to be taken as a medium that could be used for adult entertainment too. So I mean, he was in a sense a pioneer, even if a lot of stuff he did was not good. Because from what I've seen of like for example, he also did the Lord of the Rings animated movies, and from what I've seen of it, it's also not very good.
Yeah, I wasn't too big of a fan of how they portrayed Samwise Gamgee, sorry.
Yeah, they really went. They went more inbred Genghis Khan on Sam.
I was gonna say full retard, but yeah, that's pretty much. Also, they had Aragorn basically look like a kind of Conan the Barbarian style, but with short hair. Like
That's
he's
not the
running
worst
around
thing
in a
about-
loincloth the whole time.
That's probably not the worst thing about the character design of that one. Like Gimli looks like yeah, like who you expect to be Gimli is Boromir in that movie, and vice versa. Like, so the character design is really has some weird priorities, you know?
Yeah, I've also seen a few screenshots of Legolas, and he looks like someone hit him in the face with a shovel in some frames.
Yeah, there are some There's some technically lacking frames in that movie.
Was that whole movie rotoscoped, or only parts of it? Because it looks like some of the things that I've seen, it looks rotoscoped.
Yeah, I think it was only parts of it. Like, it wasn't entirely rotoscope, but a big chunk. But the funniest thing about that movie is when you see the Balrog.
Oh, did they rotoscope it in the same way that they did in the Wizards for
Kinda.
some of the army?
Kinda. It was very weird. Like, the Balrog, like, you know, one of the people who do Drag Queen Story Hour? That's what the Balrog looks like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he looks extremely unthreatening.
Oh, something, going back to the game here. That one sort of cave area that I entered, that had the mincers going up and down. That feels like it's a bonus area, but according to people online, it is not. So, you can skip that cave area if you wish, if you're going for 101%.
Is the bonus just finding the bonus areas what you need for completion, or?
Yep, you have to find them and enter them. That's how you get your percent completion.
I imagine that makes speedrunners very happy.
Yeah, because you can just enter in and then just immediately fail. Unlike in Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, where you actually have to beat the bonus level.
That's gonna be a challenge for you then.
Oh, I've already recorded it. I've done it.
I bet there was a challenge for you then.
Yes and no. Some of them are pretty challenging. And, even though it says I have 99 lives, I actually have the correct number. It's just that they didn't program the counter to actually count past, or show past 100. Oh, one other thing about the TNT barrels is that if you do place them down, they do explode on their own afterwards. So that's a fun little detail. There's like no reason to do it, but you know, there you go. Oh, have you heard anything about that new Zelda game that came out? The Echoes or whatever it's called?
Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I've heard it's been doing pretty well on the pre-orders, which is not surprising, really.
All right.
People have been wanting a non-CDI Zelda-focused game. A non-CDI Zelda game starring Zelda.
Yeah.
Since a pretty long while, really.
Probably ever
And
since
it's nice
it was called one of the original games came out, because everyone thought that, oh, it's The Legend of Zelda. Obviously, you're playing as Zelda. And it's like, no, you're playing as some random fuck named Link.
Some hobo Impa found on the road.
Which is actually not too far off from what the actual lore of the first game is.
But yeah,
speaking of, I still need to record Link to the Past. I've been neglecting doing it because I am not that much of a fan of that game. Let's see, what else is there?
And this we can do this. We can discuss this. Uh, discuss where your mental illness come from as we do the let's play.
Oh, why I don't like A Link to the Past?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that is medically qualified as a mental illness.
Okay. I don't know. It's just one of those games where I play it, and it's just one of those. I fail to see like why A Link to the Past stands up as well as it does, you know, or why it's
Pretty much was the game that sedimented the Zelda formula.
But even then, not really, because there's some portions where you don't go into the dungeon to grab the item from there. You have to go outside into the world to get the item you need to beat the boss.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm gonna have to play it and, I guess, refresh my opinion on it, so to speak.
You're gonna turn into Danny DeVito in into Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Gonna teary-eyed look at it and looking at the screen saying, "I understand."
When you initially said Danny DeVito from Always Sunny, I thought you meant, or you're gonna go for the when he's like in his underwear with a shaved head, saying he needs to be pure, covered in hand lotion.
Well, there are plenty of clips of him that can be memed in some form.
Like where he hid inside of a couch naked.
Of course.
Yeah, that's something that we need to watch. Is we need to get back to Avatar: The Last Airbender. So
that is true.
So that way we can tackle The Legend of Korra.
Attack, as in we're gonna find we're gonna find we're gonna find the producers and just attack them with a shovel. Is that what you mean? For legal reasons, that's a joke.
For legal reasons, Goat said that with extreme prejudice.
My god, this is dark.
Yeah, the level's called Loopy Lights, and you have to constantly turn the lights on. Because they're on a timer. And it's annoying.
And you didn't turn them on to make a point?
I was scared of the bird throwing coconuts at me. And I realized that I needed a barrel there for the secret there, so I died. Although, on the bright side, I have been playing through the Quest of Glory games, and I'm almost through 3, although 3 had a bit of a glitch, so I have to restart the whole thing again.
What kind of glitch?
The one where the check that sort of says, hey, this thing is supposed to activate now for the story. It wasn't activating, and I don't know what's wrong. And then when I look it up, it said, oh yeah, it's a glitch in the game, because the third one was very glitchy because they rushed it. So, I looked up online, and there is a quality of life update that a fan made, so I downloaded that, and hopefully I can actually get through the game now. And right at the end, they put in one of those jumping clap traps, just to be a dick. And this is the only point in the game where, this is the only entry in the game that I can think of where, in the original Donkey Kong Country series, you meet up with Candy Kong. She does appear in 64, but I don't know. That's not Country. Did you ever watch the Donkey Kong Country TV show?
Many, many years ago.
I remember liking the shit of it as a kid. And rewatching some of the episodes, I wonder what the hell was wrong with me.
We all had those moments.
Where you realize that when you were a kid, you were severely retarded and you deserve the position that you are currently in?
Yes.
Okay. I was just making sure I wasn't the only one. So, what show was that for you? Was it the Dungeons and Dragons show?
No. I still enjoy that one. I enjoy it mainly because I'm actually surprised with how I don't know. I think there's something to admire in the way they compact the stuff in a plot, a single episode. There's a lot of stuff happens in one episode of that show, at least in the ones we watched, and that was pretty surprising.
Yeah, they threw Tiamat at the party 3 times.
Oh, don't tell me like you've never seen one of those kinds of GMs, okay? You know what kind of GM they're dealing with? GM.
Yeah,
So,
fucking shithead gnome.
Yeah, it's realist. It's realistic. They have the GM. Well, sometimes the GM just wants to be a dick to the players, and the cartoon very much portrays that kind of situation. So you can't say it's not realistic. Yeah. I do enjoy that show because it is one of those it's one of those pieces of media that I watched as a kid that kind of shaped my taste in fiction.
I thought you were gonna say you're shaping women, but okay.
That's you.
Let's see. I was just thinking of like really bad DMs that I've played with, and I guess when it comes to like the D&D horror stories of me being with bad DMs, it was sort of like, yeah, they weren't great, but it's not like anything I'd be lambasting them on Reddit over, you know?
Okay. Well, to be fair, a lot of the Reddit the horror stories nowadays are just some people being very petty and really exacerbating minor stuff, like... the GM didn't take into account my backstory!
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's either because
like,
you wrote something...
He didn't read my 2-page backstory, and I really thought this was like a massive red flag, and it's like... Screw you. Like, piss off, pussy. Screw your backstory.
Anyway.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, it's the final boss, and with some of the best music in the Donkey Kong Country series.
Already the final boss?
Yeah, already.
Oh.
If you know what you're doing, Donkey Kong Country 1's a very short game. I think overall it took me under 2 hours.
What is it doing now?
Getting the cannonballs dropping. I use the little mast in the middle to sort of help position myself to time it when the cannonball is about to drop. Yeah, so I would say that probably the worst GM that I played with, it was a case of him being severely autistic, and he kind of felt that he maybe his story was a bit better than it actually was, kind of thing, because even though the way that he designed the dungeon was very bland, it was just we were stuck in a square room, and so we escaped from the square room to go to another square room, and then once we completed that square room, we went to another square room. So, I don't know. In that case, I'm just sort of like, you tried.
In such cases, yeah, the GM is more interested in like making a fantasy universe, like writing a fantasy novel, than actually created a campaign that is interesting.
I don't even think it was that. It was just more along the lines of, I don't know. I think it was just one of those cases where he thought he was on, and he was making something a lot better than he ended up creating. And even then, it was very basic. But I found absolutely everything. I'm almost as good as Cranky used to be. Very nice. That's probably the best compliment he could ever give.
He's the OG, man.
Yeah, he was there when Mario was torturing him back in Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah. He was there when Mario still had not a name.
Back when he was just known as Jumpman. Did you know that the original Donkey Kong game was supposed to be a Popeye game?
Yeah. the girl was supposed to be, what's her name again?
It was supposed to be Popeye, Bluto, and Olive Oil. They were supposed to be Mario, or they ended up being Mario, Donkey Kong, and Rosalina? No, not Rosalina. Fuck,
Pauline?
Pauline?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure if that was her name.
Yeah, now I'm completely blanking on her fucking name. I don't know.
Kremlins.
I don't know. She's the mayor of New Donk City in Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. She used the traumatic events of her past as propaganda, to propel herself to fame and take a political career.
Yeah, she hashtag MeToo Cranky Kong and got all the sympathy points for that.
And then Cranky just respond, "I'm a gorilla." Slut, I'm a gorilla. You expect me to care about your hashtags? I don't even know what a computer is. En garde.
Thankfully, Swax becomes a much better companion in the next few games.
It's pretty great that Cranky Kong is still like in his chair as he passes by.
Yeah, he knows how to move in that thing.
A happy chappy.
Get a nice Three Stooges kind of joke going on here.
And Donkey Kong just gave Diddy Kong a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a gorilla is very much capable of killing a person with one punch.
I think most apes, honestly, like, a lot of them are just ridiculously strong.
Yeah, chimps are actually they're like what dwarves are in fantasy. You know, they're really short and freakishly strong.
Mm-hmm.
It's really uncanny.
What is your favorite ape?
The ones in the cage.
No,
I am not a big fan of simians.
You're not a fan of simians?
Is that the name? Ah, whatever. I'm not a big fan of other primates.
Oh, but there's so many good ones. Like you have your oh fuck, I forget what they're called, but they're the ones that have like basically like frog throats and they do those bellowing noises. You got orangutans. You got your mandrills.
Yeah.
Those are fun ones.
I like the one who is in the 20 real bill.
That is what?
The one in the 20 real bill.
Is that one the mandrill? I think the mandrill is the one with the rainbow face.
No, isn't that a baboon?
I don't know. But anyway, there we are. Under 2 hours and 101%. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time. Have a nice night.
Bye bye.